When was the last time you saw a gator? Several neighbors had a scare this weekend after they saw a gator roaming near their homes. I should say this is a massive gator at that, some affectionately named Gary the Gator. Joining me now is the guy who was called in to wrangle the big one, Gator Wrangler Timothy DeRamus. Timothy, good morning, sir. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Good morning. How you doing?
So far, so good. So far, so good. I must ask, how did you get into wrangling gators in the first place?
Well, about 9 years ago, I was hunting an alligator with my friend off of Greens Bayou. He was a property owner, and they came on TV one day asking if anybody wanted to help wrangle alligators in the state of Texas, because they were undermanned and the alligator population was growing.
So the population in Texas growing. How many gators have you come across throughout the years here in Texas?
Well, I catch about 325 a year. I've caught over 2,900 alligators now in the last 9.5 years. This is my 10th year, and yeah, 2,900 alligators.
Wow, 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 wow. Okay, let's turn our focus to Gary. Tell us all about Gary. How big is he? How long did it take you to wrangle him in? And he's right there next to you, I hear. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, he is.
A big boy.
Gary is actually Gary is a boy, and he's 9 foot long, even. My wife actually did most of the work, reeling him in, and I did all the dangerous part.
Wow. How long did it take?
It took about 30 minutes total. It was actually an easy catch. I mean, he was kind of sitting there waiting for me.
So walk us through the information that you were given. Obviously, this took place out in Sugar Land. Neighbors noticed him. I guess I'm hearing that he was going up to their doorsteps. Give us the insight on the information that you were given. Bring us through the journey from start to finish.
Sure. Whenever I first got a call from one of the residents, and they said they were just having problems with the HOA trying to get the alligator out of there, but the HOA leader was actually on vacation, and he got the call on Monday, and he called the Texas Parks and Wildlife, and they gave him some information, and it just seemed to be incorrect. I mean, they told him that he had to actually be dispatched because they couldn't relocate the alligator. So the residents were concerned about him being euthanized, and so she called me and she said, "Hey, does this alligator have to be euthanized?" I said, "No, it doesn't have to be euthanized." She says, "Well, our HOA head of our HOA says he has to be euthanized, that he can't be relocated." But they may have told, the Texas Parks and Wildlife may have said that he can't be relocated, which is true. He can't be relocated back out into the wild because he's a nuisance alligator.
Yeah.
He would just go back out into somebody else's neighborhood and then cause a problem there. So the alligator didn't have to be euthanized. I take him to Gator Country, which is the rescue park in between Beaumont and Winnie and Fannett. Gary Sarge there runs the program, and he saves these alligators, and he allows them to live out their lifespan with a bunch of other alligators, and they get to procreate, and they get hand-fed every day by the public.
Wow, that's pretty cool. That's good news for Gary. You know, I want to draw our folks' attention to when you said nuisance. The reason why Gary has been deemed a nuisance alligator is because of the size, correct?
Well, not just because of the size. As you can tell, you know, he was going up to people's doorsteps and going up to people's windows. And so, you know, when they come out of the water on the edge of the water side, they're just trying to warm up their body temperature or digest their food from the night before. Because they don't have stomach acids like we do, so they have to get out in the sun, and the sun actually heats their body up and digests their food for them. And he's been going up to people's doorsteps. He's not really looking for food. He's actually probably looking for shade. It gets so hot here in Houston, and with the humidity level, you know, he comes out of the water and goes up to people's doorsteps. Maybe looking for frogs or something small. He's not really looking for somebody's cat or dog. I mean, he could if they were to come up to the water's edge and the owner wasn't around. And so, you know, the animals want to go drink some water, and the alligator's right there on the water's edge, and he could potentially grab one of the smaller pets.
Yeah, no, he truly is beautiful, and obviously there is a concern within that, especially with his size and going up to people's homes. What should people do, Timothy, if they see a gator? What should you do?
Well, if it's just a little bitty alligator and he's in your bayou or in your ditch in your yard, in front of your yard, just leave them be, because that's their water canals. That's the way they move around from body of water to body of water, and they're usually running around searching for food or mates. And if they're in your ditch or bayou, just leave them alone. If they're a big gator like this, it can be a concern because they can't sustain their life in a small area. But some of these smaller gators, I get calls every day about a little 3-foot alligator is in my ditch. Just basically leave him alone. He's waiting for some rain to come and he'll travel on his way. But if it's a big alligator and he's up in your flower bed or up under your car or in your business, call the Texas Parks and Wildlife, and they'll give you a number to a contractor like me, and I'll come out and I'll remove the gator. This particular gator, the HOA leader wasn't given my number directly, and so he really couldn't get a hold of me. And so when the resident got a hold of me, she passed on his information, and he called me at 10:30 the next morning on Mother's Day, and he's like, man, I'm taking a lot of flack over this alligator, but he was just misinformed. And so when he got a hold of me, I went ahead and took care of the problem and got Gary out of there. When I arrived, there was about 30 children there and 75 of the residents, and they were all cheering me and my wife on to get Gary, and they were all astonished at how big he was and the process of it all. And so once we wrangled him up and got him onto the bank, I secured him, and I let the children come up and feel him and feel what an alligator feels like, because they may never get the chance in their lifetime to do that. And so basically I gave them an alligator awareness class, not to feed them, not to taunt them, not to throw rocks at them. Just leave them be. Like I said, most of them, they're just going to hang out in the water, especially when they see humans. A lot of alligators are afraid of humans. If somebody throws food out to them, and then they start coming up to the people, and then they want to get fed all the time, and that's when they become dangerous. And so, the law is don't feed alligators, stay 35 feet away, don't taunt them and throw rocks at them. And if you see a large alligator like this in your neighborhood, under your car, or in your business parking lot, like I said, call the Texas Parks and Wildlife, and they'll get you a hold of me even. I mean, I'm a fast, rapid responder. I take care of these gators more than anybody else in the Houston area. As far as I know, I think I'm the only one in the Harris County area. I received an award from the mayor of Houston for doing what I do, and I was very proud of that award, and so I try to maintain my responsibility of helping the public and helping the animals out.
Always getting the job done. Timothy, thank you so much for coming on the show this morning. Gary is beautiful. We are happy that he will be able to live his best years out at Gator Country in the Beaumont area. Thank you, sir. We do appreciate it.